Alright, so I told you guys we're going to more of a vlog style, so I'm just going to show you what's going on in the garage today. Nice Saturday in New York. It's a little rainy and gross outside. I don't know if you can see out there, but it's coming around. So what we've got here is we got the rally car up on the lift doing a little rally prep because in a couple of weeks is the first, not the first rally of this year, but the first one we're actually going to make. I'm just going to build a skid plate for the front of it and cover up some loose lines and things I don't want ripped off while we're bombing through the field. And then other than that, I actually have the bender set up. You can see it there. And I need to bend a rear hoop for a cafe racer. So that's what we're doing today. Alright, so here's my tubing bender. This thing's homemade, believe it or not. We're bending some 1-inch, like I said, for a rear main hoop for a cafe racer a buddy of mine's building. This bender was built like 20 years ago. Actually longer than that now that I think about it, because I think my uncle used this on like his second street stock he ever built, or actually the one he built. And they, my father's a machinist, my uncle's a machinist. They made this, and it works really good. It's built a lot of race cars. I built 2 race cars with it. Well, more than that when it comes to just building Nerf bars and different things, but 2 full race cars I've built with it. My uncle's built multiple ones with it. But I mean, as you can see, it's not super complicated. I'm not going to go through exactly how it works because there's a lot of math involved when you're building a roll cage, and it's a science. I mean, it's an art form to build a roll cage. This, however, is not anything special. We're just going to bend a hoop real quick. There's no extensive measuring or angle finding or anything for this. So just pull it till it's a U shape, and that's going to be it. So nice easy one for a buddy of mine. Alright, so you guys always hear me talk budget build this, budget build that. This Subaru is literally like the budget build of all budget builds. I mean, you can see how somebody pieced together the exhaust there. It's sweet. But basically, SCCA Rallycross, it's basically the same thing as autocross. If you've ever been to an autocross event, they set up cones in a field instead of a parking lot, and you run against the clock against the other guys that are there. And a lot of guys show up with their street cars with plates on them. And they take them out in the field and they beat the crap out of them. And that's all good and well if you want to risk breaking your car. But there are also a lot of guys who bring their cars in on trailers, because if you break it, then you can take it home. So if I'm going to take a car out in the field and beat the crap out of it and have a lot of fun, I'm not going to pay much for it, obviously. So this Subaru, I split it with my brother-in-law because he's been dying to get a car to beat on. A friend of mine had this thing for sale. I saw it on Craigslist. I was like, oh, he's selling this piece of crap. Awesome. And I saw the price and I was like, yeah, that's awesome. So I ended up talking him down to $450. Yeah, $450 for a Subaru Impreza wagon. Impreza-ish. Outback Sport. Non-turbo. It's got 172,000 miles on it. And it's a little rough. I mean, the brake rotors and stuff are absolutely toasted off of it. I don't know if you can see that. They're some of the worst ones I've seen. They're pretty bad. But I'm going to be down in a field, so who cares, you know? The power steering's leaking and it doesn't really work right now, so I'll probably fix that. And maybe I'll put a set of rotors on if I feel like it. But the thing about budget builds is you're just trying to have fun. You don't want to spend a ton of money. And as far as that's concerned, well, you got to use what you've got. So I'm going to take this pile of scrap metal from my uncle's house, get some aluminum and some steel, and I don't even know what that stuff is. I mean, rail for something, I don't know. But my uncle and my dad have a habit of just bringing crap home and throwing it in a pile because they see it and think to themselves, oh, I'll do something with that someday. Well, I'm going to do something with it. So, free metal out of the pile. I'm going to turn that pile of crap there into a skid plate for this thing, so when we're bombing through the field, we don't rip the oil pan off or smash the exhaust off the front of it. But that's the trick to budget builds, man. It's all about being creative, using what you got. There was a couple of threaded holes up there in that cross member, so little piece of Kindorf that was left over, I cut it to fit between the exhaust there, and it sticks down under the exhaust so I can put the skid plate on it. Just like that. There you go. 3 pieces of aluminum riveted together. It's not the prettiest thing in the world, but it's about function this time, not looks. So, there we go. On to the next step. Boom. Skid plate. Like I said, not the prettiest thing. I'll pretty up the front of it a little bit since you can be able to see that. But the under part, you're not going to be able to see it, so who cares? Welded it in here. There wasn't much left of that. It's pretty rusty, but out here near the tow hook, it was pretty good. So we welded it there. And we welded it there. And it's shoddy and it's gross, and I don't care because it's a fucking, excuse my language, junkyard car. But let's keep it running and going for as long as we can. Quick, simple, easy, scrap metal, free.